In this video, we're going to pick up right where episode 2 left off. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to see that one first. But I'll recap it for you. So basically, in episode 2, what we did was we connected to a local SQL server that I have it on my laptop is here. And I selected a database. I asked it a question about give me the total album sales by country and figured out the query, etc. Today I'm going to ask it to, let's see, plot it on the map of the world so I can kind of visualize the total sales. So plot this on a world map, okay? And hopefully it's able to understand the context, the history of the conversation, and is able to give me some code that could work. Okay. All right, so here we have it. It has the code here, so it's getting the right Python libraries involved. So that's actually another interesting thing. So in this project that I've been working on, VerbaGPT, I'm more interested in text to Python generation. So you might have heard text to SQL generation, which there are a lot of tools that are really helpful in that area. But I actually want more text to Python generation, because in Python I can get my SQL query here as well, but then I can go beyond it and do other things with it. And it still doesn't guarantee that it's going to work, but at least it generates some code. And I'm using GPT 3.5. Which is more economical to use. It's not the best, but serves for our purposes here. So I reviewed the code. It seems okay. Let's see if it errors out. It's using Plotly library to plot things on the map. Okay, so check the image below. Let's see. All right, it did work. And we have our image. We can download this image if you want to, etc. And we can see that the most of the sales are here in sort of North America and some other sales around the world. So this is a sort of a toy data set, a sample data set of album sales by musical artists. So anyway, so this was a quick continuation of the prior video. And the topic that I'm going to talk about today is, and I'm going to be talking about this in future videos too, something called agents or agentic AI. So in this project that I've been tinkering with, VerbaGPT, it is strictly, I would call it a few shot approach. So if you've heard of that phrase, where like I think some people call it zero shot, I call it single shot because I don't know what zero shot means, but single shot. Okay, you ask it a question, and it's in one attempt, it's going to try and generate the code, right, that you saw here. And if you've played with Code Interpreter on ChatGPT, I think that's the best example I know of. What it does is it runs the code, and then if it errors out, it tries to figure it out, troubleshoot itself, and runs it again and again and again until it's able to either figure out, or it runs out of tries and says that it can't do it. In my experience, typically after 2 or 3 tries, it says that, hey, I can't do this, and gives you some tips on other things to try. So that would be sort of a few shot approach. So in this, what I've been building, VerbaGPT, I'm actually have a variation of that a little bit. So it tries to generate the code in one go, but if it doesn't work, it tries to review it. Okay, so there's a concept of this reviewer agents, and review can happen in a couple of different ways, which is kind of very interesting. It kind of mirrors how humans review. So if you write code, you might review it yourself. So here's some code. If I wrote it, I'm going to look at it, see, hey, am I doing the joins okay? Did I misspell a table or a column name? Or I'm going to scan it very quickly. And so forth. So you can do the same thing with an LLM. It generates the code, and then you feed it back to it with the prompt that says, hey, can you take another look and make any corrections. Perhaps even give it some additional context, which is what I do with Verba GPT. So that if I'm doing self-review, I'll give it some additional context that's relevant and ask it to review the code, make sure the syntax is okay. And sometimes you do a reviewer agent, meaning you give it to and the same LLM or a different LLM. It can be the same LLM without any history, right? So without the history that generated the code, without the previous context, and just feed it back saying that here's some code, here's some context, review it and make any corrections. So that's one kind of interesting thing, and apparently it does seem to improve the results. There's some research out there that shows that the results can be improved quite significantly. But still, there are errors, right? So I'm using GPT 3.5. The code doesn't always work. This one query that I generated right now, it doesn't work all the time. It generates errors sometimes. But anyway, so I think this was a quick video. If you have ideas, questions, things for me to try in future videos, please comment below. If you have any thing you want to add to my commentary on zero, few, or single shot queries, add that as well. If you come across some very interesting tools in this domain of talking to relational databases using LLMs, do share with us as well. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.